I am Déspo, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a Cypriot, and I'm a Christian, Orthodox. You love a man and I love a woman. You have that right and I don't. Anita Dimitriou announced in a conversation that Cyprus is not ready for same-sex marriages. But Anita, with all respect, get them ready.
It's your obligation.
Absolutely. Obligation is the perfect word for it. It's absolutely essential that we support the gay community, the youth in Cyprus. They need to come out. They need to be authentic. They need to live their best lives freely, openly, and then continue to marry the person they love, have a family with the person they love, and this should be legalized. I don't think there's another party that has almost 42% women representing it in Cyprus.
No,
I don't think
not.
there's another party that has openly gay candidates. So I don't think there's another party that will represent Cyprus holistically than Volt.
Γεια σας και καλωσορίσατε σε ακόμα έναν επεισόδιο του podcast του Volt, όπου έχουμε τη χαρά να γνωρίζουμε τις και τους υποψήφιους για τις Βουλευτικές Εκλογές του 2026. Σήμερα έχω τη χαρά να έχω μαζί μου τη φίλη, τη Δέσπω Παύλου. Δέσπω μου, καλωσορίσες, welcome.
Ευχαριστώ, Ανδρέα μου.
We're gonna be doing part of the interview in English.
Πολλά καλά, χαίρομαι.
Whatever makes you feel more comfortable.
Okay.
So I would like you to introduce yourself to begin with.
Okay. Δέσπω Παύλου, είμαι γεννημένη στη Νότια Αφρική. Είμαι μητέρα, 4 παιδιά, εντάξει είναι όλοι μια άλλη τώρα.
Όντως?
Όντως, 3 γιους, μια κόρη.
Να σου ζήσω.
Ευχαριστώ, thank you. Έχει 4 χρόνια που ήρθαμε στην Κύπρο.
Okay.
Είμαστε από Ριζοκάρπασο Γιαλούσα, οι γονείς μου. Τώρα έχουμε το σπίτι το οικογενειακό να μέσα στην Λευκοσία. Αλλά μένω στην Πάφο.
Okay. How come did you choose Paphos as your residency?
Άρεσε μου η Πάφο επειδή it's very similar to the city I came from in South Africa. Which is Durban.
Okay.
Coastal city.
Yeah.
And the same slow, easy-going pace.
Okay, I get it.
So that's why I'm very comfortable in Bafo. With all its strengths and beauties, there is some work that needs to be done in Bafo, and hopefully, with the help of Volt, we can get it done.
You are running in Paphos, right?
I'm running for Bafos region, yes.
Okay, that's great. And how did you decide to run for the elections?
Well, you know, a year ago, I met Costa at the diaspora, Costa Constanti, magnificent buddy of mine, and a dynamic person.
Yes.
And someone I can align with in terms of values. I respect him as a person, and someone who could lead people, you know. And we got talking about Volt at the diaspora. And I've had a couple of podcasts done with some magnificent people. And my message has been constant. It's been about sitting down and speaking with great minds about changing policy, especially in the LGBT community. Yes, very much so. Costa got to hear some of these podcasts. I think he shared some of my stories with Volt leaders. And I was in Nicosia a couple of weeks ago and just supporting my mom through a surgery.
Is she okay now?
She's great, thank you. Thank you very much. She is great. And he contacted me and said, listen, do I have to come to Bafo to have a cup of coffee with you? I said, no, actually, I'm in your hood. We met up and he just said, would I be interested? And I grabbed it immediately. I was so excited that they even thought of me to represent this amazing party. And I was so eager to get started. I said yes, and within minutes, Charilaos came and I met him as well. And he's the vice president.
Yes. One of the vice presidents.
One of them. He partners up with Licia. Yes. And just fantastic people. And with the meeting of more and more people, I just realized this party is for me.
You saw that you are aligned.
We're completely aligned. Completely.
But, okay. And what made you wanna get more involved into politics?
You know, my focus was very much initially the LGBTQ community, and it still is.
We're going to get more into it.
Yes, absolutely. But there are what we did as a family growing up, we would come to Cyprus every year, you know, and visit. Holidays.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, there's nothing better than fresh eyes. You know, you whether you work for a company or whether you work for just within a family, you know, the minute you're away, you come back, you see, oh, the children have grown. Or you go away and you come back into a company and you see the new policies have changed. Yeah. And we used to see, coming back to Cyprus every year, the changes. When it joined the EU, the subtle changes. Yeah. You know, Cyprus, I believe, had always the inclination of staying a little village, maybe closed-minded with respect. Isolated country or island. But with the introduction of the EU, I saw progress. I saw economies growing. I saw all sorts of beautiful benefits in every sphere of politics. The 2013 Dogurama, we saw the big impact with that when we came on holiday. And now I'm back and I'm looking at it still with fresh eyes, but having lived it for a couple of years. And I'm seeing gaps where we can improve. Yeah. And that for me is the holistic approach to why I want to, you know, go into politics and
try and
targeting.
Improve things.
Yes. If possible.
Yeah, if possible, of course,
yes. Or have conversations.
You know what? We're going to try it.
100%. We're going to have serious conversations and we're going to...
You did mention the LGBTQ community a couple of times so far.
Yes.
And you said that that's a main focus for you. Why is that? I mean, how do you feel so passionate about that subject?
Oh, thank you for asking that, Andrea. It's obviously a very important topic and one that must be discussed in Cyprus. And we need to...
I think it's the one topic that hasn't made a big progress comparing to everything else that you mentioned before.
100%. In 2015... they accepted or they legalized civil unions.
Yes.
10 years later.
We're still there.
We're still there. So that's very slow progress.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, why it's so important to me, because I am proudly gay. I've been openly gay for 20 years and blended my family, saw the benefits of that, saw the downfalls of that too.
Yeah, sure.
And managed it. You know, and that's the thing. Everything is manageable. I'm also a published author of My Kind of Normal, which is for the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. It's my first book. The second one's in progress.
Nice.
But it is something I'm passionate about because, you know, yes, I respect that the church will not accept me marrying someone I would like to call my wife partner. One day.
Yeah.
But then why are you taking away the country that I want to get married in? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it's very important that we get this right. One of the European leaders, and I want to mention this, just it might show you where I'm heading with this, is Giorgia Meloni. She's the Italian Prime Minister who, you know, has done great work for Italy. But she's quite adamant that she will not support same-sex marriages.
She's on the very conservative spectrum.
She is on the conservative spectrum and you know, respect that as well.
Of course.
But she had a very famous speech in 2019 where she said, I am Georgia, I am a woman, I am a mother, I am Italian, I am a Christian. And so am I. All of those things.
Yeah.
I am Déspo, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a Cypriot, and I'm a Christian, Orthodox. So you love a man and I love a woman. You have that right and I don't. And that's the big contrast. I pay taxes like everybody else, but I have this very important part of my life that I cannot do. And it's not to say I want to do it. I want the option of being able to do it. And so many people do.
I want the freedom to be able to choose for myself.
So many people do. And, you know, Andrea, it's essential, absolutely essential that we support the gay community, the youth in Cyprus. They need to come out. They need to be authentic. They need to live their best lives because I can assure you by doing that, so much hurt and toxicity and sadness gets eliminated.
Yeah.
Yes, there's angry moments and confusion, and you have to manage that. But it's manageable.
Yeah.
And we need to get going with this. And again, 2019, Anita Dimitriou announced in a conversation that Cyprus is not ready for same-sex marriages. But, Anita, with all respect, get them ready. It's your job as leaders.
It's your obligation.
Absolutely. Obligation is the perfect word for it. It's your obligation as leaders to manage that.
Yeah.
Start getting them to understand that this love is pure, that this love is beautiful.
You know what? It's very funny to think of it that some of the leaders, political leaders that are saying that the society is not ready, they took advantage of the exposure they got from the LGBTQ community quite a few years ago.
Yes.
What changed? I mean, it's not whenever it's in your interest and you change politics whenever you seem fit.
Yes. Politicians sadly get into power not because of their wisdom or because of what they know, their knowledge. They get into power because they can sell the best line. Unfortunately, that's the truth. I think it was Plato who said, if you stay away from politics, and I'm not quoting him word for word, but if you stay away from politics and you don't, get involved with politics, you're allowing the people to lead you.
Yes.
To be anybody. In other words, they could be inferior on this policy that you feel so strongly about,
That's a very solid argument towards the people that's saying that everyone is the same. I'm not going to vote. I don't care about voting. Yeah, but by not doing it, you are allowing everyone else to choose how you are going to live your life.
That's it.
So
That's
take a
exactly.
stance. Take a stance by voting. There will be at least 700 candidates for these elections. There's not even one that you kind of agree with.
Yeah. And let me tell you why I actually think people are so ready for something new. Driving into Nicosia the other day, I actually just felt so sad because you've got all these billboards up, all these wonderful men dressed in their beautiful suits, and well done to them, and thank you for putting your hat, your hat in the election ballot. But at the end of the day, it's the same story, it's the same look, it's the same slickness and the smoothness, and no, people want real warriors. And how we know this is they elected Fedia.
Yeah.
This is someone who thought out the box. Never mind what we think of him or what he got in.
I get what you're saying.
He got in and he got the people's votes.
Yeah, because there was a part of the population that wanted that.
Yes, exactly. And we've got to listen to that.
Yeah.
And not only listen to it, but give the people the leaders they want. I think we're all over the same rhetoric. Everyone is equal. Everyone has human rights. We will fight for you. It's honestly just a joke. Sorry, Andrea.
No, sorry.
The other thing, what we've done wrong, and it's not only Cyprus. Please don't get me wrong. And I don't want to be a naysayer and constantly criticize everything, but I do want to look at our weaknesses and fix them. The one thing we have gotten wrong is we've made our leaders demigods. A true leader is actually the people's servant.
Yeah.
He's there or she's there to serve the people, to get the people, because you have the leadership, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the integrity, the honesty to get your community up and get them a better state of living, a better standard of everything, education, hospitalization, housing. Suddenly, we're the servants and they're the demigods. This is wrong. If you look at the true definition of a leader, he is there or she is there to serve the people, the community.
A leader is leading by example.
Yes.
If you're just ordering around people, you're not a leader. You're a boss. No one wants a boss.
Nobody wants a boss.
Yeah, and definitely people are not voting to elect their boss. They are voting for someone to inspire them and to work hard making their lives better.
That's it exactly. That's what everybody wants. And, I want to go back to our past leaders in Cyprus. And I actually want to say thank you to them, because I don't believe anybody has ever gone into that position and wanted to do bad. But they're also humans and they make mistakes. But then acknowledge your error, fix it. Or when you pass the baton, say, I really botched that up. I made such a mistake. Can you just look at that going forward?
Yeah.
You know, thank you for what you've done. But now I think it is also time for new, powerful force. You know, we look at the magnificent Alexandra Atalidi, who's the parliamentary representative of Volt.
Yes.
And this is someone who is a human rights advocate through and through.
Yeah.
And she believes in exactly that. We are all equal. And that is a true leader.
Yeah, she's a frontliner.
She is a warrior.
Yeah.
But she doesn't just talk the talk. She walks the walk. She's there. She talks to everybody, no matter what their standard of education is, no matter, and she brings herself to that person's level so that person can understand her.
You know what? If all people, the elected ones, were walking half the path they are talking, we would be in a much better situation today.
Just half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's enough. That shows effort. That shows that you've done progress.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking? That your example breaks a lot of boxes that the anti-LGBTQ movement is trying to enforce in the society.
Yeah.
You are a mother of 4.
Yeah.
And you are proud to say that I belong in the LGBTQ community. So it breaks a lot of
barriers.
Yes, a lot of barriers,
Yes.
and it's good because you show a very true, a very realistic possibility in our society that you can be a mother, you can be a loving mother, and you can be gay, and that's okay.
But Andrea, I don't want to take away from our beautiful gay community, the guys who wear their dresses in parade, you know,
of course.
And, you know, however you want to show yourself, be proud, be bold.
Definitely.
And yes, this is me. This is my kind of normal, as I say in my book, my kind of normal. But yes, if you see the gay community for who they are, though, you will find the young man who adores his mom, you know, but loves a man. You will find, but he's a good working man and he takes home the money and he looks after the family. And you will find all sorts. You will find all sorts, honestly. But living in your own authenticity is the most important thing, because with it comes so many psychological benefits. And when there's psychological benefits, the energies of everything just improve and the world is just a better place, you know. One of the biggest reasons I am such an advocate for the LGBTQ community is because I didn't want to accept I was gay. And I married a man. And, you know, the people you hurt when you do this, and yourself. And then you live with this shame.
When did you realize it?
No, I realized from when I was young at school, you know, I had crushes on girls and that. I didn't understand that, though. I didn't understand the crushes because this was in the 80s and nobody I knew was gay. It wasn't on the TV. It wasn't in media. I didn't understand it at all.
It was illegal in many countries.
Still is. In fact, in I want to say 20 countries. I'm not sure if that's accurate. We can fact check that. But you still have the death penalty.
Yeah.
You know, for being in a same-sex relationship. So I didn't want to accept it. And I suppressed it. And that stuff catches up to you.
Yeah, of course. It always does.
And, you know, then you have the honest conversations and you cry the tears and you fight the fights. But then you get through that. And then there's a whole beautiful light at the end of that tunnel, you know. I still have a great relationship with my ex and we, you know, raised our kids and so did we with my partner. And it's wonderful.
Are your kids in Cyprus now?
3 of the 4 are, yes. The 4th one is still studying in South Africa.
Okay,
He's hoping
nice.
to come.
How are they supporting you on both subjects, sexuality and the choice to go into politics?
Oh, look, you know, my children are very used to me as their mom. I have the most out of the way thinking. You've got a beautiful sign in the front there, out of the box.
Yeah.
Think out of the box.
Yeah.
I love it. I've known that saying for my whole life, and I do. I think out of the box often. But I do things differently all the time. So coming out as gay, my kids were extremely supportive and still are. My mom as well, who's this traditional Cypriot woman. And I've said it on a million podcasts. She's my biggest defender, and so are my children. All three, my sons and my daughter. There is no one who's ever going to hurt me because mom's gay.
Yeah.
They will stand up and fight the fight for me, but they haven't had to.
That's so nice.
You know, they haven't had to because it's normal for them and their generation. It's our generation that's a little bit loopy on this.
Yeah, don't say that. There are many young kids in Cyprus that get affected by the more conservative narration, and they end up hating people that they don't know, and they hate up people and things that they don't understand just because they want to belong somewhere and hate something. Which is sad, and that's why we're raising our voices to show them that, you know what, there is no reason to hate that person. There's no reason to hate someone because he has a different sexuality from you.
You've opened my eyes, Andrea.
You haven't realized that yet.
No, not in
You're living in a
Cyprus.
good environment. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there is hate, and it starts from young ages, schools. But that's always the answer. Why do you need pride parades?
Yeah.
Exactly that, because the society needs to be aware that in everyone's diversity, everyone lives the same way. Everyone loves the same way.
Yeah.
Everyone has the right to study and have a family and people they love the same way. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl.
No, it doesn't. It's the heart that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, what my children did experience, for example, at school is there was one day a teacher that stood up in the class and said, you know, gay people go to hell. So my son who was in the class had to deal with that, you know, or my daughter. I'm not sure who. There are one or two stories like that. I'm not sure who faced what, but they dealt with it very maturely because they knew that, you know, there is some closed-mindedness. So I'm not saying they were completely protected from it. No, not at all.
Yeah.
But is it more the norm for them? Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And so I'm surprised to hear that Cyprus, or maybe I shouldn't be surprised because government actually isn't putting gay couples on TV or in magazines and showing people.
It's actually forbidding it on some occasions.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
Yeah.
Honestly. So in terms of, yes, my Greek mom,
It's
Cypriot
not the majority. It's not the majority, but it's the louder voices. You know, I always do the same paromíosi. Comparison there. Yeah, I'm saying it's like when you have an empty can, it makes more noise than when it's full. So yeah, empty cans always make more noise.
Yeah.
It's not the majority, but there are some, and they are very loud, and they are impacting others as well. So the LGBTQ community has the need to raise their voices as well and be heard.
But of course.
And be seen for what they are.
But, you know, the biggest thing, you know, it comes from the fact that they say this is anti-Christian. Okay, but so is judging. And what you're doing, judging me on who I love, is already a negative a blotch on your mark. But I don't impact your life at all. So why do you have an opinion about my life?
Yeah.
You know, why do you want to judge me? Why do you want to judge my children? We have no impact on your life. We have no connection to you.
It's their way of viewing Christianity, for instance.
Yeah,
because
it's their interpretation.
Thank you. Because if you actually read the books and the words of Christ or whoever you believe into, they're talking about love.
Well, for me, the Bible is a book of love.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't interpret it the way they do. And it's not self-serving. I just don't interpret the Bible that way.
Yeah.
I interpret it as a book of love.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's what it is. And that's what the gay community want. They want to be in love freely, openly, and then continue to marry the person they love, have a family with the person they love, and this should be legalized, like immediately. This has been something that's been neglected in this country.
You know what? There's a big discussion happening now about allowing gay couples to adopt kids. And I mean, every couple, gay or straight, they are going through a lot of bureaucracy till they can end up being allowed to adopt a kid. So why does it change if they're gay or straight, if they're going to go through the same bureaucracy, if they're going to go through the same evaluations, either financial or either psychic evaluations or whatever? They're going to be approved by scientists. And on the other hand, we see a lot of kids raised in straight couple families being abused and treated badly and feeling neglected. So you're okay with that scenario, but you're not okay with a gay couple giving love to an orphan kid?
I don't understand the motivation behind it, other than it's not natural that they say, you know, for same-sex people to have children. But, you know, there are straight couples who also struggle, sadly, to have children.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're allowed that option. And there's one thing I've come to learn in raising my 4 children is that kids can get through anything as long as they have love and support. If you support your children and love them, they will be able to get through anything. So that's gay couples have that in abundance because they've had to understand, they've had to be flexible, they've had to support, they've had to, they already have that. We have this in us, you know, we have this in us. So being able to adopt would just make again this place, this world, a happier place. And something that needs to change.
And I mean, there are a lot of people who grew without one of the parents.
Yes.
Yeah. Either because of death or abandonment or whatever the reason might be. And they are great civilians in our society. So
in South Africa, in the school system, the model of a family is not mother, father, children, dog, cat. The model of a family is anything you are. So in South Africa, we have had, a lot of parents die from disease or whatever. So it's the granny raising the children.
Exactly.
Or it's 2 aunties raising the children or whatever. So in South Africa, you've got 70 million people. There isn't a mother, father, family model. Yeah. And that's another thing that people here in Cyprus need to, the educators or the education system, they need to look at that very seriously because, that child who goes to school and is raised by only the mother, for whatever reason, whether it's divorce, disease, whatever, they feel this...
I don't belong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're feeding that into that poor child's brain so early on.
Yeah.
And for what? Because you believe a family model is mother, father.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, you cannot actually, to me, it sounds so conservative and so outdated.
You know why? That's why we're here and we're doing this effort because we want to be the voice of people that they have been marginalized or been finger pointed or been making into feeling that they don't belong.
Yes. And, the other thing we need to minimize, Andreamo, is hate speech. This is terrible. I can't actually believe that people speak hate so freely here.
Yeah.
We're not permitted to in South Africa because we had that horrible apartheid era. But coming from that, we had some lessons, and the lessons were you do not speak badly about another race or about another gender or about anyone.
Yeah.
And there's actually consequences to hate speech. There's heavy fines, jail time, and some people have actually committed suicide because they were caught with a proof that there was
Yeah.
hate speech and the consequences were just too much for them to bear. And sadly, they ended their lives or their businesses stopped. No one went and supported them. So there's very serious consequences to hate speech. Here, I'm not comfortable with the level of hate speech.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something good for anyone to ever utter, and I don't think it's ever good for someone to hear that. Why do you want to say it?
You know
Such
what?
hateful things.
Today that we are making this interview, there was a decision from the Cyprus Αρχή Ραδιοτηλεόρασης Κύπρου.
Ναι.
It's the authority that monitors
Control.
what's been said on TV and radio. And there is they gave a fine to one TV station that had as a guest in a show a person that talked really, really bad about women. An ex-football player that he...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he rampaged. He had some lines, some sentences that you would say, what year did you came from? 1800 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, wake up. So today there was a decision and they got a fine of 50,000 euros, I think. And I was like, oh.
Good.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Very good start.
Next one will try to do the same.
Yeah.
We'll have that in mind.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What a good start. I'm so happy you said that to me.
Yeah, and especially the media. You have a responsibility. Even if that person that you invited got into using hate speech, you have the responsibility to not air it.
Oh, yes. I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
Because again, you're normalizing that behavior.
Exactly.
And that's not normal behavior.
Yeah. They'll say, but it's his opinion. Yeah, but that opinion might drive someone else to harm a person.
Yeah. No, it's not his opinion. His opinion he can say at home. He cannot publicly televise his opinion.
Yeah, because...
especially if it's hateful.
Yeah.
No. And that's fantastic that they've actually done that.
I was surprised. I was not expecting something. I mean, I don't remember when it happened. I think it was a few months ago. But the decision came out today and I was like, okay.
But Andrea, this is why I love Volt as well. Because Volt is a progressive party and it's pan-European. And you're learning, maybe Cyprus is learning from the other European countries because hate speech is actually, it's criminal.
Yeah.
And I don't know of a lot of countries that speak it so freely as they do in Cyprus. And I love Cyprus. I honestly do. For me, Cyprus is home.
You know what? We have seen examples in other European countries that, especially if it's a person elected by the public and it goes into hate speech, they push them into resigning.
Good.
They kick them out.
But
we haven't seen that in Cyprus because they stand behind their parliamentary, how do you say it? What's the English word for it? Not asylum.
Πέμοντα ελληνικά.
Ναι, βουλευτική ασυλία.
Ναι.
It's asylum.
Yes, it is
it's parliamentary asylum.
Yeah.
So they stand behind that.
Parliamentary? No.
Asylum. Yeah, okay. Βουλευτική ασυλία. So they stand behind that and they fail to face the consequences of their actions. So basically, you're a coward. You're only saying that because you know that you have a wall protecting you.
Well, also, I think if you're a leader who partakes in hate speech, you're not a leader.
Yeah, of course not.
No. You shouldn't be in the position you currently are. But yes, if somehow we made a mistake and voted you in and you make that mistake, then you should be asked to leave.
Yeah, of course.
Exit immediately. And this is again, and this isn't only for politicians. It's for leaders in companies, managers. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
At school, the teachers are not allowed to use it. The educators, principals, nobody. Hate speech must be eliminated. It doesn't matter what your opinion is of who and what. Stop it.
Yeah, you're allowed to your opinion. You're not allowed to motivate others to do crimes.
No. That's it.
Okay. So, Déspω, we see that Volt will probably be in the parliament in 2026, in May.
It's looking strong.
There's a lot of people that haven't decided yet what they will vote. what do we have to say? What do you want to say to those people? Why should they vote for Volt?
You know, I'll tell you why. Volt, I think right now we've got 56 members or candidates who are going to and are standing up for their causes that they are passionate about.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not great with environment, even though I believe, yes, we need a green environment. I'm not the best person to offer my counsel on that.
You're not the expert. Okay.
I'm not the expert on that.
Yeah.
But we do have people in Volt that can. And that's exactly what Efik said the other day on our social media. We have someone who will hear you, who will understand your plight and who will take that fight forward.
Yes.
But we don't necessarily want to fight everybody. We want to just sit down and have conversations and see how policy can change to help the greater part of Cyprus, you know, the bigger populations. I don't think there's another party that has almost 42% women representing it in Cyprus.
No,
I don't think
not.
there's another party that has openly gay candidates. And I think we're on 3 or 4. So
I think it's more actually, but
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be. To my,
yeah, I think it's more.
should we say the right number?
No, it's okay. It's more than 4.
Okay. So I don't think there's another party that will represent Cyprus holistically than Volt. And if you listen to us speaking, so if someone listens to me and what I say resonates, then vote for me. As Déspω Pavlou. And I will, with Volt's backup, get what you need for the future. And if someone needs something to do with the green environment, look at the pros we've got in our team, you know, in our party. So I think this is your biggest advantage with Volt. We've got such an array of specialized people who are excited for the future and who want to take policy change head on, and do it collaboratively with whoever wants to be by our side, walking this path.
That's great.
Yeah.
Déspω, I really, really enjoyed our conversation. We could have been talking for hours, but we have to end it at some point.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you for your time. I wish you all the best and every success with your candidacy. I'm very happy that we are fighting together for
Thank you, Andrea.
whatever we're discussing.
Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me and sharing this controversial, shouldn't be any more controversial,
Shouldn't be.
but is still. Thank you for putting it on, and we're going to go live with this, and we're going to start breaking barriers, start thinking out the box for everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrea.